we interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. Good day and welcome to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. This is the show where we talk about, you know what it is, the news that nobody else will talk about, the mainstream. They dodge it, they duck it, they do all those dodgeball things because they just can't handle it. They have no idea how to, I guess you could say the only thing they know how to do is concoct a narrative out of a bunch of BS. And so instead of that, what we do on this show is we kind of go through some of the news that is probably way more important on a per news cycle basis that they would even dare consider or touch. So that's really what we do here. That's what the show's about. And it is live. Did I mention that? We've always done this live. This is a part of another kind of an extension of another podcast we do called Troubled Minds Radio, and we talk about conspiracy and paranormal and aliens and some other things over there. But this kind of spawned as just too much good stuff to talk about, and so here we are talking about more of that. So that's what's happening today. That's what's on deck. This is episode 8 of Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. We're streaming this live, so we're live on Twitch currently, and if you want to be a part of the show, we are watching the phone lines, 702-957-1037. That's a Las Vegas area code. You can go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website for both podcasts, and you can click the Discord link and join the Discord, join the community, and get in here and tell us what you think. It's very important that we share information, and because I clearly can't see it all, and the more we can get together and talk about this stuff, I think the better this show can be, and the better we can do a news cycle that's completely different. Like, actually, 1, entertaining, 2, thought-provoking, and just straight up not propaganda. So that's what this show's about. That's what the show's always been about, and we're going to continue doing that. And so let's get moving, shall we? So we got some audio clips to play today, and this is the type of stuff that we could do if we have some more time to put these shows together, is kind of do some audio clips and a little bit more, some in-depth reporting on this stuff, on what's actually being said out there. So let's get started, and let's get straight to the elephant in the room here. And it's what day is it today? It is December 22nd, and the House and the Senate have just passed a particular bill. So let's take a look at what this is. So this is reported by CBS News, and this is critical to and a perfect point to why we do this show. All right. So now, for instance, I'm linking the source in the chat here, so you guys can follow along if you like. But reported by CBS News today. All right. Headline reads this: what's in the $900 billion coronavirus relief bill passed by Congress? So let's find out, right? This is a perfect example of what the mainstream media does and doesn't do, right? What they tell us and what they don't, and let's see whose side they take on this. Thanks, CBS News. Let's take a look. So Washington, Congress approved a massive $900 billion relief bill on Monday evening to provide sorely needed aid to Americans suffering amid the economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic. While the package includes provisions to extend expiring programs, it only offers temporary relief and does not address some critical issues such as direct funding for state and local governments. The bill, known as the Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriations Act, passed with large bipartisan majorities in both the House and Senate. Here's a rundown of some of the key provisions in the legislation, which now heads to the White House for President Trump's signature. Yeah, interesting. Let's take a look at what they say is in this bill. So direct payments. All right. Isn't this what people need, right? Direct cash money so they don't get kicked out and they have things to eat, important, food and shelter, right? So direct payments. The legislation includes direct payments of $600 per person for adults making up to $75,000 per year and children. This means that a family of 4 could receive $2,400. The size of the payment decreases for those who earned more than $75,000 per year and disappears entirely for Americans earning more than $99,000. The income levels are based on Americans' 2019 tax returns. All right, so there we go. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told CNBC on Monday that Americans could begin seeing the payments in their bank accounts as soon as next week. All right. So, of course, that's set up because we had the initial coronavirus, what was it, the CARES Act back in, midsummer, something like that. So they should have good information on people's bank accounts and where to send money. So let's see how fast they can get it done. The speed of government, they call it, right? So there we go. Direct payments, a whopping $600. Congratulations. So since March, they've managed to bring out about $1,800. What, 12 and 6, 18? Yep, $1,800 per person ish. And so I think we have a new challenge, don't we? I think we should look at this and find out if the people in Congress could survive for 9 months on $1,800. I think we should call it the Congress Challenge. What do you guys think? I think that should probably be, definitely solid. What's up, Super Viking Elisha? I see you there. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's see. So the size of checks is significantly smaller than the CARES Act, etc. Okay, so anyway, expanded unemployment benefits. The bill includes an additional unemployment benefits of $300 per week on top of states' unemployment insurance. Okay, that helps, a little bit more money for unemployment. The bill only insures these additional benefits for 10 weeks. The CARES Act allowed for an additional $600 per week in unemployment benefits, but this provision expired at the end of July. Some Republicans raised concerns that the added benefits meant certain workers earned more while unemployed than they did while working, and argued that this could be a disincentive for returning to work. Blah, blah, so on and so forth. Okay, aid for small businesses. This bill includes $284 billion for the first and second forgivable loans from the Paycheck Protection Program. Blah, 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 blah. We got an eviction moratorium. The bill extends an eviction moratorium established by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which was set to expire by the end of this year to January 31st. It can be extended by the incoming Biden administration. The bill also includes $25 billion in emergency assistance to renters and $800 million dedicated specifically to Native American communities. All right, cool, good stuff. Testing, tracing, vaccine distribution, school funding, nutrition, and child care, right? So anyway, so they found a way to pack in a whole bunch of stuff here, aside from just the direct payments, right? And probably that's the biggest one, that the people that are hurting the most need the money the most. So, freaking get it to them, right? So let's see. That's how they reported it, right? Like there was nary a negative word in this entire article. You can go down and read this whole damn thing. And it's basically, kind of fluffing up the government like they did some kind of good job here, right? And let's actually listen to what Nancy Pelosi had to say in her own words regarding this stimulus payment. Let's find out and action.
I do want to speak to the bill that will be on the floor shortly. It is a good bipartisan bill. It does, as different from bills that have been proposed on the Senate side by the Republican leader, it does things that his bill never did. And that is, it addresses the food needs of the American people. Maybe 15 million children are food insecure in our country, and adults as well. Millions of families on the verge of eviction, and this legislation addresses the rental needs and a short-term moratorium. We can accept the short-term because we'll have a new president during the length of that moratorium to extend it further if necessary. We also have in the legislation direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant, and they will be going out soon. The president may insist on having his name on the check, but make no mistake, those checks are from the American people. The American people's name should be on that check, no individual, because that is the source of the resources for those checks.
Oh, she was doing so well. She was almost there, right? So she's kind of parodying the reporting by that article there, and talking about all the good stuff here, just like CBS News said. What's in the $900 billion coronavirus relief bill? She was getting there. She almost made it through a minute and 10 seconds before she had to drop the orange man bad, right? She had to say, well, he wants his name on the checks, and this is really from the American people. And notice she said, the payments are substantial. Substantial. Like I said, I think we should have a coronavirus challenge where the members of Congress have to survive 9 months on $1,800. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a fun challenge. All right. So anyway, just kind of pointing out exactly how the mainstream media covers this type of thing, right? How it's very patty cake with the politicians. And clearly, I think if you ask anybody on the ground level that probably knows anything about anything, that this was a gigantic failure. It was a money grab and a bunch of other stuff. And notably, what they didn't talk about is that it was they had no time to read this bill. It was like over 5,500 pages long, and they clunked the bill out. They did it in secret, and then the individuals that had to vote on it, Congress, had like 2 hours to read 5,000 pages supposedly, and then vote on this thing. So. All right, so let's see what also they snuck into this bill that nobody's talking about. Yeah, all right. This is reported by the HollywoodReporter.com, and this is exactly what's going on and why they're not telling you this stuff. Because, well, they'd rather just tell you, the good stuff. But they jammed a bunch of stuff into this bill that's always some nefarious stuff, right? They do it behind closed doors. They send it out, and then they give their constituents or the actual Congress very little time to actually vet the bill, and then or their constituents to give feedback to the people in Congress. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Reported by the Hollywood Reporter, the COVID-19 stimulus bill would make illegal streaming a felony. That's right, a felony. Okay, so now this was yesterday, all right? This is December 21st. And so this was a speculation that they were trying to jam this into the bill. And clearly this had leaked in some capacity, because if it did not, then they wouldn't be reporting this before the bill actually passed. So here we go. Let's see. Perhaps most surprising, according to the text of the bill, a combination of COVID relief and annual government spending, illegal streaming for commercial profit could become a felony. All right, so this is kind of speculation. They weren't sure if it was going to be in the bill or not. This continues. It's been less than 2 weeks since Senator Tom Tillis released his proposal to increase the penalties for those who would dare stream unlicensed works. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what this says. In doing so, the North Carolina Republican flirted with danger. About a decade ago, Senator Amy Klobuchar made a similar proposal before it ended up dying as people worried about sending Justin Bieber to jail. Remember that? Remember that conversation? Where if Justin Bieber did a cover on YouTube, and that's how he got famous, basically, that they could come after him for not paying for rights to those songs that he was actually covering. Yeah, that was a thing. So here we go. But Tillis's attempt has been winning better reviews for more narrowly tailoring the provisions toward commercial operators rather than users. That said, it's had very little time to circulate before evidently becoming part of the spending package. If passed, illegal streaming of works, including movies and music tracks, could carry a penalty of up to 10 years in jail. You remember those FBI warnings that are like on the, when you get a movie and play it, it's got that FBI warning in the beginning? Well, now it's a felony. Okay, so that's not the only change to copyright law either. The spending bill also appears to adopt a long-discussed plan to create a small claims adjudication system within the U.S. Copyright Office. Okay, so again, this is what's happening. This is what's going on in the world, and this is what they're not reporting, all right? So then this was a speculation yesterday before the bill actually passed. Did it pass? Well, seeing that the actual Senate and Congress themselves didn't have time to look at the bill, they're basically down to the Christmas break and they're leaving. They passed it. They passed this bill, and yes, TechCrunch reports this. Yeah, this is real. This is a real thing. Daily Crunch. Stimulus bill increases penalties for illegal streaming services. All right. So now they're saying, right here in the bottom, the language of the bill seems to focus on commercial piracy services rather than individuals or Twitch streamers, a point that one of its sponsors, Senator Tom Tillis, emphasized in his statement, claiming that no individual streamer has to worry about the fear of prosecution. Well, I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? We have suddenly it becomes a felony, and they've narrowed the language, and we've got a senator telling us that no individual streamer has to worry about a thing. Is that good enough for you? Yeah, no, that's not good enough for me. I think this is, again, dirty. They always do this stuff. They always just jam these things in that if it went to an actual vote and people were actually able to vet these things, this shit would never, ever pass because somebody would object to this rightfully, right? So what is it doing? Of course, it's protecting big business at the expense of what? People like me, people like you, people like we. Suddenly, that Nancy Pelosi clip I just played, somebody, whoever sourced that, right, CBS or one of those other assholes, they could now come after me because I played the clip, even though it's part of fair use, right? So let's say now we've monetized on Twitch, we've got a few bucks coming in, literally a few bucks coming in, and so suddenly that this thing sets me up as a fall guy for their BS censorship program, which is what it is. It's a way to protect big media, and it's a way to keep guys like us, people like us, from actually talking about these things, and because they can always shut it down. They can always either offer or basically threaten to bully you, sue you, this, that, the other thing, or they can shut you down as a copyright, right? It's what's up, Tam? I see you there. You don't have to stay up so late. It's okay. Like I said, we'll have a piping hot archive for you whenever you're ready, so it's no sweat. Okay, so yeah, this is exactly the type of stuff that's going on, and exactly what they're not telling you, right? So if you turn on any channel right now, you might get some bitching and moaning about whatever, little things they didn't get that they wanted. But are you kidding me? Like, this is the type of thing that needs to really get time and debate before anybody votes on it, and they're not. They're not doing it. They're not going to do it. And now this type of thing right now, and Troubled Minds and other podcasts, by the way, anybody that does any sort of live streaming, sourcing information through fair use, now it's suddenly this could become a felony. Like, this could be the same type of shit that we've been talking about. Like, you got to watch out for. Remember, like we always said in the very beginning of this COVID thing, hey, look, the smart people have their money on the government running away with some shit because they can get away with it with this COVID stuff. And sure enough, look at the stuff they're doing. Like I said, this would never pass. This would never pass in a normal session. And it's an emergency COVID session. They have to vote this through, and this is part of it. So, yeah, you tell me, a little bit disgusting, and here you go. So now that we've monetized this on Twitch, like I said, a few bucks a month now, we are at risk, right? Because we're a commercial operator. Is that the way this works? This is felony stuff. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Speaking of that, let me play this quick clip and we'll continue here. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the two accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. Okay, so that's just a quick blurb, so I don't have to explain it in a sloppy fashion. We're gonna move on here, but that's exactly my point, right? That's why we do the show, because people, the mainstream media absolutely does not cover the most important parts of these bills. Sure, they put a bunch of bullshit spending in this, and they gave a bunch of money to the Smithsonian and some other stuff, right? Which, again, really, are you telling me instead of sending more money directly to people, you're going to send it to business? Like, they're going to bail out the airlines, they're going to bail out all kinds of different things, like they always do, right? And then make excuses why they can't send money to the people who need it the most. Oh, money's tight. Oh, is it? Is it really? That's really the problem here? No. The problem is you, Congress. You're the problem. You're drunken spending forever, regardless of what season or session, spending ridiculously, and then when the time comes and people need it back, right? What do? They give you jack shit. $1,800 in 9 months. That doesn't even cover a month of expenses for many people, many families. Get out of here. That's a joke. Okay, anyway. Let's go to phys.org. Now, this is some good stuff. Finding some life and some other weird stuff down below here. Researchers find hydrogen-supported life beneath glaciers. And here we go. So using years of data collected from ice-covered habitats all over the world, a Montana State University team has discovered new insights into the processes that support microbial life underneath ice sheets and glaciers, and the role those organisms play in perpetuating life through ice ages and perhaps in seemingly inhospitable environments on other planets. Doctoral candidate Eric Dunham of MSU's Department of Microbiology and Immunology in the College of Agriculture, holy, how long is the name of this place, along with mentor Eric Boyd, published their findings in the journal Proceedings of the National Academic of Sciences this week. The work examines the ways water and microbes interact with the bedrock beneath glaciers, using samples of sediment taken from glacial sites in Canada and Iceland. Okay, so hydrogen-supported life, like extremophiles, right? Like this is the type of life you would expect, maybe alien life. Okay, because we have, in many cases, we expect everything to be like us, right? We anthropomorphize everything, including alien life. So now we have more extremophiles that are based on hydrogen. Here we go, quote, "We kept finding organisms in these systems that were supported by hydrogen gas," said Boyd of the inspiration for the project. "It initially didn't make sense because we couldn't figure out where that hydrogen gas was coming from under these glaciers." So, yeah, pretty good stuff here. Just want to point this out that we're still finding life in extremophiles, right? We're still finding some pretty good stuff here that on Earth, life on Earth, that we can't really quantify easily, and we're still trying to figure out. So, as far as aliens are concerned and considered, you end up with what? At some point, you end up is alien life here on Earth? Like, is this the type of stuff? Tam says, didn't they say the same thing about Bitcoin, yet they still can't tax Bitcoin people? Yeah, that's going to be a whole other can of worms, too, the whole Bitcoin thing. What's up? I see... Thank you for the subscription, Alien Chan. What's up? Thanks for got a Prime subscription there. As simple as that. See, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I will add you to the list. Okay, so let's see the list of thank yous. By the way, not the list of the FBI coming after you. That's different. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay, Tim. You're good. You're good. Okay, we got plenty of time for this. All right, so here we go. So again, alien life is what is kind of. Maybe here on Earth, extremophiles, right? This is the type of life form you might expect to find on like asteroids or moons of planets or other planets themselves, right? This type of thing. So again, just pointing it out, kind of looking at this stuff and paying attention to the way this goes and continue to talk about it like we do. All right, let's get back to Earth now. Let's get back to Earth. Let's get back to some good old-fashioned conspiracy here. All right. Now, this is a little bit nuts, right? So we've been following this over recent weeks here as Vladimir Putin continues to take down his adversaries, all right? So this is reported by CBS News again. Russia sanctions the European Union over response to poisoning of Alexei Navalny. Now, okay, so just a brief, this guy was poisoned. He's been a very large critic of Vladimir Putin and is gaining some traction inside the Soviet Union, Russia. Sorry, the Soviet Union is the old way to put it, but yeah, inside of Russia. And so he, of course, you can't get some traction and be an actual opponent to Putin without him sending the goons, right? So it's come out that this guy was poisoned on an airplane, right? We saw this. It's not part of this article. This is an addendum to that piece. But so he was poisoned, okay, and then they did some sort of emergency landing. They got EMTs to him. He survived, and now he's out talking about it. He's trying to get to the bottom of who actually poisoned him. And I think it's pretty clear. Everybody knows who poisoned this guy. Everybody knows who poisoned this guy, right? Everybody knows who sent the order, and of course it's Mr. Putin, right? Of course, literally, we can posture any way we want, but it's Putin. He's the guy who did it. Okay, so we'll roll through this, and then we are taking calls. By the way, if you have takes on any of this stuff, you want to say hi, you have show feedback, you want to request a theme for a show or whatever, let me know. We're here for you. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link on troubledminds.org, the official website, and you can get on the show that way as well with Discord. So, okay. here we go. So now back to this. So this guy, he was poisoned. All right, here we go. So Russia on Tuesday slapped. Now this is the bizarre part. So Russia slapped sanctions on European Union officials over their response to the poisoning of Alexei Navalny, saying the opposition leader had a persecution complex and compares himself to Jesus. Moscow summoned several senior European Union diplomats before announcing the new travel bans in response to what it said were confrontational sanctions imposed by the bloc in October. The foreign ministry said Moscow decided to expand the list of representatives of EU member states and institutions who will be denied entry to Russia. Okay, so, all right. So this is bizarre, right? So Russia poisons the guy. And then the EU, of course, he was actually in Europe when he was on the plane, and so they saved him. And then so they put sanctions on Russia, and now Russia is retaliating with sanctions, saying, sorry, European Union, you can't send people here because here's some sanctions, right? So ridiculous, just ridiculous. Anyway, some interesting stuff here. So in a video of the conversation, so this Navalny guy, he's back, he's healthy. Check this out. So the announcement came a day after Navalny, age 44, said he had impersonated an official in the Kremlin's Security Council and extracted an admission of guilt from a toxins expert with the FSB security service, and that would be working for Putin, right? The Russia there. In a video of the conversation published by Navalny, with him actually on this phone call with this FSB agent, the alleged FSB agent says agents placed poison in Navalny's underwear in August. The anti-corruption campaigner was flown for treatment to Germany, where labs concluded he was poisoned with Novichok, a Soviet-designed nerve agent. This stuff is happening. His video racked up more than 13 million views in 24 hours, and social media was abuzz with memes featuring Navalny's underpants. So, yeah. So, weird stuff in the world, and that's what's happening, and that's the guy, and he's been poisoned, and, right? Again, there are places in the world, guys, where you can't speak freely. And these are the types of things I think are most important, most critical that we are against. We stand in solidarity against these things, against shutting down. You know, it's one thing to kick somebody out of a briefing because they're a loudmouth idiot, right? But it's another thing entirely, like Jamal Khashoggi, to cut him into pieces, or like this guy because he's an opposition leader to Putin, to have him followed by goons and poisoned, right? I mean, this is not good. This is a whole bunch of not good. So there you go. There's one. Let's keep on moving here. We got this is pretty cool. Speaking of draconian laws the world over, this is reported by WSB TV, and we haven't talked about this one because let's see, because there's too much other stuff to talk about. But sentence reduced for Metro 18-year-old who broke Cayman Islands COVID-19 quarantine. All right, so then this 18-year-old, she snuck out to see her boyfriend. Let's read a little bit of this. A judge in the Cayman Islands has reduced the sentence of a Gwinnett County 18-year-old and her boyfriend who broke the island's COVID-19 quarantine rules. Skylar Mack and her boyfriend Vanjay Ramgeet will now serve 2 months in jail. You heard that right. 2 months in jail instead of 4 months, according to an appeals court. So they got 2 months reduced in half from 4 on appeal. Mack, who is from Loganville, has been waking up behind bars for a week since her original sentence. Quote, she's very overwhelmed. She hasn't eaten, her grandmother, Jeanne Mack, told Good Morning America. She's tried to eat a couple of times, and she's gotten sick. Yeah. How would you feel? 18, breaking quarantine, blam, in the slammer. You and your boyfriend. Yeah, this is what's happening in the world out there, guys, in different places, and I don't know. You tell me. What's old school poison? Exactly, Tam. Okay, let's see. All right, let's keep on moving here. So, all right. This one's pretty cool. This is pretty cool stuff. Again, like there's no end of like fantastic, thought-provoking, disturbing news that you can really dig out of. You know, if you spend a little bit of time looking, and that's the point, right? That's the whole point. It's not like they're hiding this stuff. It's like they're just not talking about it, right? Again, there's the conspiracy. It's not about this stuff is being hidden under like lock and key. It's just that they tell you the same shit over and over again because they want you to believe that Nancy Pelosi did her best to make sure that the bill was as good as it could be, right? Yeah, no. Here we go. This is pretty cool. This is reported by Forbes.com, and this is a writer actually that's pretty good. His name is David Hambling. He writes on technology. Okay, so here we go. Navy explores enhancing warfighters' capabilities through microbiology. And here we go. So gaining superpowers through modified gut microbiology sounds like the backstory for an unlikely Marvel character. But that's what the U.S. Office of Naval Research aims to do with a program dubbed Gut Microbiology for Warfighter Resilience. Researchers are engineering microbes not just to make warfighters tougher, but also less fearful, and with the intent of conferring new capabilities. Catch that? Conferring new capabilities. There is solid science behind this seemingly far-out program. Resilience is sometimes seen as a matter of character, but the reality is more complex. Microbiology plays a part and may help troops handle the stresses of a combat deployment, among other things. Yeah, right? Super soldiers? Anybody? So here we go. Quote, does the gut microbiome play a role in the host response to physical and psychosocial stressors? And if so, can we envision ways to manipulate the microbiome to minimize negative responses? Was program lead Dr. Linda Chrissy's provocative opening question to the Tri-Service Conference. All right, so they're going to be able to do this, it looks like. So let's see. Guts and intestinal fortitude are as synonyms for courage and determination, right? So is this a way to make, basically, I'm cutting in here and speculating, is this a way to make soldiers fearless? Yeah, for courage and determination. The association between bravery and bowels is an obvious one. What is less obvious is what researchers call the gut microbiota brain axis. Your guts affect your brains just as much as the other way around. Disrupt a mouse's gut biota and it shows more anxiety. The gut microbiome influences emotional behavior, anxiety, memory, and cognitive function. So a tougher biome could mean more resilient troops. So yeah, this is happening. Super soldier stuff. And who's talking about it? Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about this. If you want to be part of the show, we do this live to include you. 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. The official phone number is there as well. And so you don't have to write it down or fumble for it. Just remember troubledminds.org and take you right there. And Tam says, reminds me of that movie Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And that's exactly right. And adds also, in South Africa, if you break COVID rules, you get 6 months in jail. Yeah. 6 months in jail. And that's what's happening in the world we live in. That nobody talks about, do they? Nobody talks about this. So, okay, let's see. We got, here we go. We got some more. Let's go to npr.org. And speaking of the world falling apart, let's go to Israel. Shall we? All right. Reported by NPR is this. Israel to hold fourth election in 2 years as coalition fails to pass budget. And this is today, December 22nd. Israeli politics is once again in turmoil. Parliament has dissolved, and Israel will hold yet another election expected on March 23rd. It will be Israel's fourth national vote in the span of 2 years. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his centrist coalition partner Benny Gantz failed to pass a national budget in Israel's parliament. I don't know how to say that. Knesset? I don't know. Knesset. Before a midnight deadline, leading to the parliament's automatic dissolution and new elections. But analysts say the political crisis is primarily due to Netanyahu's interest in triggering early elections to stay in power beyond his current term, hoping to strengthen his hand as he fights corruption charges in court. Quote, the reason we're heading to an election is because Netanyahu refused to pass a budget as required by law and honor political agreements so he can remain in power for the duration of his trial, said Johan Plesner, a president of the nonpartisan Israel Democracy Institute think tank. Do you believe that there's a such thing as a nonpartisan think tank? Anybody out there? Nonpartisan? I don't know. I'm not so sure anymore. I think basically outfits like us are nonpartisan think tanks, right? Because we're not funded. But the second you get funding, I'm pretty sure there's a partisan aspect to that. Yeah. Anyway, so interesting that so if they don't pass a budget, there's a clause in their constitution or whatever it's called over there, so it triggers another election, and that's 4 elections in 2 years as the coalition fails to pass the budget in Israel. So whatever that means. Like I said, the world is falling apart, not just here, not just everywhere, also everywhere else. So yeah, there we go. All right, so just a quick little interruption here, and then we'll keep on moving. You're listening to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. We will be right back. Okay, welcome back to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. Now, let's continue, shall we? We left off in Israel, and let's go to something a little more exciting. No, something a little less exciting. We talked about Walmart yesterday and how they got sued by Greenpeace for their plastic bags, right? Yeah. So they were basically saying that their plastic products, Greenpeace sued Walmart. We talked about this on yesterday's show, and they're suing them because they're misleading with their recyclables. Okay, it's got recycling logos on some of their plastic things, their packaging and whatnot. And so Greenpeace sued them and said, nope, sorry, this stuff is not recyclable. And like I said, we live in this weird illusion behind the veil type situation where we think because it has a little recycling label on it, it's recyclable. Well, it's not. Okay, it turns out there's different levels of recycling and harder and harder ways to do these things, and they end up in landfills anyway in many cases. So anyway, so more news with Walmart. Well, I think this is what we're going to get, right? We're going to get news with Walmart because they're putting all the small businesses out of business. So basically it's going to be Walmart news, Amazon news, right? McDonald's news. That's all we're going to get anymore because that's all all the actual news you can get because everybody else is just waiting in food lines. But anyway, I digress. Here we go. U.S. sues Walmart, alleging role in fueling opioid crisis. All right, so they're getting sued for the plastic bags by Greenpeace. Now they're getting sued by the Justice Department, and the Justice Department accuses the retail giant of ignoring warnings from its own pharmacists. Complaint follows company's suit to fight allegations preemptively. Okay, so the Trump administration sued Walmart Inc. Incorporated Tuesday, accusing the retail giant of helping to fuel the nation's opioid crisis by inadequately screening for questionable prescriptions, despite repeated warnings from its own pharmacists. The Justice Department's lawsuit claims Walmart sought to boost profits by understaffing its pharmacies and pressuring employees to fill prescriptions quickly. That made it difficult for pharmacists to reject invalid prescriptions, enabling widespread drug abuse nationwide, the suit alleges. Walmart responded in a public filing Tuesday saying the lawsuit, quote, invents a legal theory that unlawfully forces pharmacists to come between patients and their doctors and is riddled with factual inaccuracies and cherry-picked documents taken out of context. Interesting. We'll see where this goes. It just happened, but I guess everybody get in line, start suing Walmart because they're going to basically be the only business left. Them and Amazon. Them and Amazon. Okay, so good stuff there. Everybody's suing Walmart, and nobody seems to care, right? Back to that. Nobody seems to care. Okay, let's keep on moving here. We got some other good stuff. Where are we at time-wise? Okay, let's slow down, Mr. Strange. Okay, now here's the thing. All right. Let me put up the phone number one more time. If you guys want to be part of the show, we do this live to include you. If you have comments on this, you can hop in Discord on any of this stuff. Like I said, you want to say hi, show feedback. You want to suggest a news story or something to do in the future, like a theme, like Super Vike said, let's do Weird Wednesdays, and so we're going to do that. So with weird news, like really weird news, not just conspiracy type stuff with lawsuits and Walmarts, but really weird stuff. So we'll see what kind of weird stuff we can find for Wednesday. But that's the type of stuff we're taking. We're taking feedback, and we can do shows that you guys want to hear. That's the important thing. One more time, if you want to be part of the show, Conspiracy News, 702-957-1037. And I'm Michael Strange, and you can find the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And that's the other podcast as well, Troubled Minds, if you're into the conspiracy shtick, because we do a lot of that over there as well. Okay, so let's see. Where are we at time-wise? Okay, so we're good. We're okay. Everything's fine here now. All right, now check this out. This one's pretty cool. Let's see. I have another clip. Let's go to this one because I have an audio clip for this, and it's pretty cool. So I started with an audio clip of Nancy Pelosi, right? And this is a lot more interesting. This is definitely a lot more interesting. So let's go here. This is reported by Live Science. And kind of like we said, the extremophiles, right, and some of the life we don't know about on Earth, even the life we do know about on Earth, we're discovering new things all the time. Headline reads this from Live Science. Seals are making Star Wars noises at each other underwater, and we have no idea why. They chirp, whistle, and trill like droids. And scientists are hearing it now for the first time. All right, so these seals are nothing new. They've been around for a long time. We know these seals exist. But now they're making weirdo noises we had no idea they were ever doing in ways that they communicate with each other. So from the article here, above water, they sound like bellowing Wookiees. Below the ice, they sound like chirping, chattering robots. Either way, the Weddell seals of Antarctica should have no trouble finding work in an upcoming Star Wars project. And I'll play this clip in just a second. You guys can hear what they sound like. But so the Weddell seals calls create an almost unbelievable otherworldly soundscape under the ice. Paul Chico, a visiting professor at the University of Oregon and lead author of the new study describing the bizarre seal sounds, said in a statement, "It really sounds like you're in the middle of a space battle in Star Wars, laser beams and all." The catch here is you'd have to be an alien or droid to hear them. All of those sci-fi sounds are totally inaudible to human ears. Chico and his colleagues were able to detect otherworldly noises after 2 years of listening to Weddell seals with a special hydrophone, which is an underwater microphone, installed in Antarctica's McMurdo Sound. Yeah, all the way back in 2017. So before the researchers started recording, scientists knew about the 34 seal calls audible to human ears. Now the team's research, published online December 18th in the Journal of Acoustical Society of America, adds 9 new types of ultrasonic calls to the seal's repertoire. Now, these include trills, whistles, and alien-sounding chirps, sometimes composed of multiple harmonized tones. All right, check this out. I got an audio clip. So it's like a 4-minute thing. So I linked it if you guys want to listen to the entire thing and hear all the chirps and squeals and things they do. It's right there in the article. Check it out. But I chopped it down to just a minute or so you could hear a sampling of what seals sound like. So let's see if this is more desirable listening than Nancy Pelosi from earlier. Seals making Star Wars sounds, action. Okay, pretty good stuff. I would say that sounds very much like you would expect from a Star Wars movie. I think they got it bang on with that reference, right? It sounds pretty good stuff. So the catch is, again, humans hear in the sonic range of 20 to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz, the researchers noted. So most of the newfound seal sounds exceeded 21 kilohertz, with some consistently rising to 30 kilohertz. One high-pitched whistle reached a shrieking 49.8 kilohertz, the team wrote. And when seals harmonized multiple tones, the resulting noise could exceed 200 kilohertz. That's well beyond the hearing range of cats, dogs, and even some bats. So the pretty cool stuff here, and it continues. What are all these high-frequency communications about? The researchers aren't sure until now. Scientists had never detected ultrasonic vocalizations in seals, nor in any other fin-footed mammals like sea lions or walruses. According to Chico, the sounds could just be bonus conversational elements to stand out over all the lower frequency noise, like changing to a different channel for communicating. It's theoretically possible that the noises are involved in echolocation, the biological sonar that animals such as dolphins and bats employ to find their way around dark places. But so far, there is no evidence that seals use echolocation, the researchers said. Still, the behavior won't be out of character for seals that can dive more than 1,900 feet or 600 meters below water and hunt in the darkness of Antarctic winter, the team added. Let's see a Wookiee try and do that. Live science, pretty good stuff. I don't know. So what do you prefer? What do you guys prefer listening to? Seals echolocating possibly underwater with some Star Wars type noises, or Nancy Pelosi bleating on about how she did the best she could? for the American people. Yeah. Pretty good stuff. Lizzie says my dog is not enjoying these sounds. Well, that's because hey, they're not supposed to, right? Maybe it's a dog repellent. Maybe it's dog repellent. Yeah, who knows? So anyway, pretty good stuff. And again, like I said, definitely more entertaining to me than listening to Nancy Pelosi bleat on about blah, blah, whatever, and so on and so forth. Okay, we are live. If you have comments on any of this stuff, 702-957-1037, troubleminds.org is the official website. I am Michael Strange, and you're listening to Conspiracy News. Get on the show, taking all callers. We do this live because transparency is an important thing. And try calling into Anderson Cooper when he's doing the news. He won't let you interrupt him. You know why? Because he has a very tight schedule, and they have a lot of propaganda to fit into that hour. I tell you what. All right, what else do we got? Let's see. We got the Walmart. We got the thing. All right, here we go. Let me just run through just a little bit of these. This is what's happening in the world around us. We all know this, but everybody knows I live in Vegas. That's where we're streaming from. That's why we do the show. That's where we do the show from. 702 is the Las Vegas area code, all that. So here is this is from vegas.eater.com, right? And this is a list of restaurants that have closed in 2020. And let's read some of these just in Las Vegas. In the Hard Rock Hotel, MB Steak, Pink Taco, Mr. Lucky's, and Nobu, among others. Some of those restaurants will return. They say when the Virgin Hotel reopens in later on in 2020. But the Aria Cafe, Carnegie Deli at the Mirage, the China Tang, the MGM Grand, they're all closed. Herringbone converted into Salt and Ivy. And here's some other recent COVID-19 restaurant closings with both locations of Miller's Ale House, Sweet Tomatoes, Ricardo's Mexican Restaurant, Hamptons and Brio Tuscan Grill at Tivoli Village, Benza Cantina. Anyway, you get the point. It's like on and on and on and on, right? Permanently closed due to the pandemic. These are not places that are going to be reopening anytime soon, and fulfilling jobs to people that need them, and feeding hungry people like me. I'm a hungry person too. Okay, so like I said, Vegas probably one of the places where we're going to get hit extremely hard by this because people can't travel, people don't vacation now. The whole shtick, right? But it's not just exclusive to us. It's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. But I just want to point it out. There's a lot of people hurting. There's a lot of businesses going out, and yeah, bad news, all bad news. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Okay, where are we at time-wise? I think we're okay. Okay, one more quick reminder about the Twitch thing, and then we'll keep on moving here and move to the final segment. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the two accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. There you go. All right. So much more succinct than me babbling through it. Okay, here we go. Let's go to Science Alert. Actually, this is from Tam. Tam shared this on the Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, you can... You should. You really should, because this is where some of the news comes from that we talk about. This is where good conversations happen, and people get together, and there's no judgment. There's no any of that. We take all kinds of theories regarding everything from ley lines to aliens to the Great Conjunction, which is what we're going to do tonight as a show at the suggestion of Tam, who's actually in the chat right now and sent this article as well. So, I mean, that's the thing. Join the Discord, troubledminds.org, and come join the conversation. There's a lot of good information to talk about, and if it only gets more rich and varied by you showing up and giving us your 2 cents on the world. So that's why we've always done it live. Again, transparency, crowdsourcing shows. Met tons of good people doing this, and we're waiting for you too. So do join the Discord, troubleminds.org, and let's move on to this next story. This is reported by ScienceAlert.com, and the headline reads this: a physicist has come up with math that makes paradox-free time travel plausible. All right. No one has yet managed to travel through time, at least to our knowledge, but the question of whether or not such a feat would be theoretically possible continues to fascinate scientists. Not just scientists, us as well. Here we go. As movies such as The Terminator, Donnie Darko, Back to the Future, and many others show, moving around in time creates a lot of problems for the fundamental rules of the universe. If you go back in time and stop your parents from meeting, for instance, how can you possibly exist in order to go back in time in the first place? It's a monumental head-scratcher known as the grandfather paradox. But now a physics student, Germain Tobar from the University of Queensland in Australia, says he has worked out how to square the numbers to make time travel viable without the paradoxes. Classical dynamics says if you know the state of a system at a particular time, this can tell us the entire history of the system, says Tobar. However, Einstein's theory of general relativity predicts the existence of time loops or time travel, where an event can be both in the past and future of itself, theoretically turning the study of dynamics on its head. What the calculations show is that space-time can potentially adapt itself to avoid paradoxes. I wonder, right? I wonder if it's a part of like the speed of light, how there's supposedly the universal speed limit, they say. I wonder if there's some sort of thing built into where it's a kind of like a time travel redundancy, so you can't go back and kill yourself in this timeline. Anyway, so the article continues. To use a topical example, imagine a time traveler journeying into the past to stop a disease from spreading. If the mission was successful, the time traveler would have no disease to go back in time to defeat. Tobar's work suggests that the disease would still escape some other way, through a different route or by a different method, removing the paradox. Whatever the time traveler did, the disease wouldn't be stopped. Tobar's work isn't easy for non-mathematicians to dig into, but it looks at the influence of deterministic processes without any randomness on an arbitrary number of regions in the space-time continuum, and demonstrates how both closed time-like curves, as predicted by Einstein, can fit in with the rules of free will and classical physics. The math check out, he says, and the results of the stuff are science fiction. Are we still streaming? What happened? What was that? I think the phone line just dropped. Did it? Yes, I think that's what happened. Okay, anyway, so phone lines are down. We're about to finish up anyway. This is a short show. We only do an hour. Okay, but if you want to be on the show, jump into Discord. There you go. One more time, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. Come join us over there and share your knowledge and information. There's a ton of good stuff that we can continue to talk about. Because did I mention we're doing this 5 days a week, by the way? Okay, so there we go. Pretty cool stuff. Now the physicist says that paradox-free time travel is plausible. Okay, so plausible is not probable. So there's those things. But anyway, pretty good stuff. Good stuff to think about. Good stuff to talk about. All right, here we go. Now back to the seals, except not just the seals. Let's go outside of the terrestrial realm, and let's get out to the alien realm. All right. So this is reported by Scientific American, and let's see what just happened. Okay, we're good. Let's search for alien probes, not just alien signals. Multi-messenger SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence, that's SETI, would broaden the quest to find celestial companions. On blind, let's see. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut just brief this one because I didn't realize it's paywalled. But blah blah. Let's see. While developing our own radio and laser communications over the past 7 decades, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, focused on radio or laser signals from outer space. 2 kinds of electromagnetic messenger that astronomers use to study the cosmos, right? Radio or laser signals when looking for extraterrestrials, right? Which would be technosignatures, basically. So if you're looking for, like I said, I kind of talked about this a couple shows ago, the first things we're going to get from aliens, if we're talking about technosignatures, is going to be I Love Lucy, right? That's the type of stuff we're going to send out. Those actual our signals are in space. Some of our very first embarrassingly bad television. Well, actually, it's probably better than today, but it's out there. It's out there in space being broadcast, and that's probably going to be the first thing that an alien civilization picks up from us. So I wonder, the same sort of thing, right? So they're looking for technosignatures in that manner. But this article goes on to say that we should be looking for probes, not just actual technosignatures, but things like Voyager 1, Pioneer 10 and 11, the New Horizons spacecraft, which we've shot out into space, and they're just kind of doing their thing. They're just going deeper and deeper into interstellar space. And that's kind of what we should be looking for. So Ronald Bracewell noted in a Nature paper that a physical space probe could also search for technological civilizations across interstellar distances. So pretty good stuff. I guess this goes back to that Oumuamua thing that we talked about at nauseum on the other podcast, but that maybe this is the type of thing that like our Voyager, Deep Space Voyager programs is still out there and kind of left the galaxy, or not a galaxy, left the solar system, I mean, and it's still traveling. So I wonder if maybe we'll find some of these things before we know what to do with it. Pretty good stuff. Let's see. Okay, good stuff. All right. So again, we got a few minutes left. Going to finish this up. So if you guys like the show, please consider supporting all that good stuff. You know what to do. You know where to find all that on Twitch. We stream this 5 days a week, so Sunday through Thursday, so we can have one out for the next day of a theoretical commute. If you wanted to listen to this on your commute, kind of listen to some news that's not the mainstream. Like you're not going to hear this collection of news pretty much anywhere, because we hopefully pick some interesting things that are worth talking about. So there you go. Again, this gets ripped to a podcast. This goes to the YouTube channel. Stays on Twitch. There's a ton of ways you can find us, and again, troubledminds.org is a source for all of it. All right, let's do this. This is next one. This is pretty good stuff. Speaking of wacky news you won't hear anywhere, let's go with this. This is centraltrack.com, and yeah. North Texan claims to be from Saturn, sues the United States government. Yeah. So an Allen resident claiming to be from Saturn filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government last week, claiming civil rights violations and discrimination. The suit was filed on Friday, December 18th by Allen resident Rickia Collins, Collins, in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Texas, Sherman Division. It claims that the plaintiff, who is allegedly from the sixth planet of our solar system, is the victim of an employment discrimination violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Right? Of course, because if you're going to discriminate, you're going to discriminate against someone from Saturn, clearly. This continues. While also asserting that Collins self-identifies as Capricornus and Ra the sun god, the suit appears to allege that the plaintiff is being held against their will on Earth by the United States government, and that the federal government has also prevented them from earning gainful employment from July 4th, 1776 through the date of the filing. Did I like it? Yeah, I liked it. Okay. The United Nations and the United Kingdom also seem to have been listed alongside the United States of America as co-defendants. Okay. So filed by court clerks as relating to rent, release, or ejectment, it's not exactly clear what case the lawsuit is making. With the plaintiff listed as their own attorney, the suit's handwritten plea details copious references to celestial bodies and ancient Hebrew texts, but does little to explain what damages the government has inflicted upon the plaintiff. And this is an actual thing, and there's a link here, and you can go to it. And here's the actual court filing, which I will link in the show notes, and you guys can go read this yourself. But yes, Capricornus, Ra, god of sun, Rickia Collins, United States of America, United Nations, United Kingdom, and there it is. There's the actual handwritten court filing. Is this, what do you think? Is this, it seems like they took a lot of time to go through and really talk about all the things in a sort of rambly sort of way, of course, because that's what you'd expect from something like this. Aren't all court cases in a rambling sort of way? But he's his own lawyer. He's his own lawyer, Tam. He's his own lawyer. Okay, so anyway, that's the deal. This guy's suing because he's from Saturn, and he thinks they're discriminating against him for all kinds of other things. His phone number's on there. I won't read it here. But anyway, there you go. North Texan claims to be from Saturn, sues the U.S. government. So, yeah. All right. Let's do a couple more and let's finish this up. Speaking of aliens and coming from Saturn, let's go to Fox News. Oops. Oh, come on. Really? This damn autoplays. All right. Shut up, autoplay. Okay. Fox News says this. Let me link it, and we can keep on trucking, finish this up. All right, so Milky Way may be full of aliens who annihilated themselves, study says. Research suggests intelligent life may have emerged 8 billion years after the Milky Way formed. And of course, where are they? Well, that's part of the Fermi paradox, right? So no one can say for certain whether extraterrestrial civilizations exist, but one new study suggests the Milky Way is full of them, though many could be dead. The research, which can be read on the AirXIV repository, was written by experts at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, California Institute of Technology, and Santiago High School in Corona, California. And it uses the famous Drake equation and determined that intelligent life may have emerged some 8 billion years after the Milky Way formed. As we cannot assume a low probability of annihilation, it is possible that intelligent life elsewhere in the galaxy is still too young to be observed by us, the researchers wrote in the study. Therefore, our findings can imply that intelligent life may be common in the galaxy, but is still young, supporting the optimistic aspect for the practice of search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Would be back to SETI again. The experts also looked at where the other civilizations may live in the universe, noting they are likely to reside on planets in the galactic habitable zone, places in the galaxy where there's an abundance of metals. This could be approximately 13,000 light years from the galactic center, the researchers noted. So this is the same sort of stuff that we're always talking about, like the Goldilocks zone, but and the Drake equation and the zoo hypothesis and the rest of this stuff. If aliens are everywhere, how come we can't just pull out the binoculars and watch them flying by all the time, right? Even though there are many sightings regarding aliens. I don't know about aliens in particular, but let's say definitely UFOs zipping through the sky. This stuff is happening out there all the time. And the question and the conversation continues as to what they are. Are they ours? Are they is some sort of exotic satellites? Are they drones? Are they, right? There's tons of things that they could be if we're building them. Or you can go with the Bob Lazar thing. Are they reverse engineered alien technology? Who knows? But they're definitely out there in the sky as unidentified phenomena, and people see them all the time. So I think that's kind of a moot point. But the article here basically gets to the gist of that. Once that whole thing, that once we get to a certain point where we're technologically more superior, technologically superior to our let's say our common sense, that we're going to destroy ourselves. That's kind of where this is headed. So yeah, Milky Way may be full of aliens who annihilated themselves, study says. So yeah. Again, this is the type of stuff, like I said, that you're not going to get on any other type of news program, and that's why we aim to do here. Look at some of we talked about time travel today, we talked about aliens, we talked about Nancy Pelosi, and we kind of equated her to a seal underwater, like making inaudible noises. Good stuff. So that's what, again, these shows are short intentionally because we just want to make sure that we run through the news and talk about it, what might be important to you, and what's definitely important to the community at large that the mainstream skips, because again, like I said, they're gutless, and everything with them is propaganda all the time. And yeah, so okay, so let's finish this up and give a thank you, a nice thank you to the people that have actually pledged up to the channel, which we have a nice little list here, and it's building, growing every day. So let's see. We'll add the new subscription that we just got a little while ago. But so this is a nice little Star Wars crawl, like just like in the beginning of a Star Wars episode that I made with your guys' names on it. The people that have subscribed to the channel as a thank you. So I'll read them as they go. Let's play this and some music as we go and finish this sucker up. Okay, so the new sub we just got today is going to be from Alien Chan. Thank you, Alien Chan. Add you to the list. You're not officially on the list, but I will add you. And here's everybody else as we go through the Star Wars scroll. AJ Dare, Arc Platinum, Axel Steel 3, Dark Devious, FGC Spiral, Ident, which is Johnson, Lizzie Daggs, Monochromatic, Nikki Nix, Noble Cal L, and of course, like I added, Alien Chan. I'll add you to the list, and we won't miss you. Thanks again for thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being enthusiastic about this, like I always say. Thanks for supporting the show. Spread the word. Tell somebody about it. Let them know that you don't have to listen to the same garbage news every day. Come listen to this or the podcast. You can catch us live on Twitch, 4 p.m. Pacific, or you can just check out the podcast. In any case, come join us on Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. We'll see you there. We're going to do Troubled Minds tonight. Talk about the Great Conjunction. I think Tam's going to be on the show for a little while at least. And Thanks again for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been listening to Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. Have a fine day.